I grew up in the suburbs of Oslo, the capital of Norway, in a place called Høvik. Kind of it's a very suburban area with like villas and like right by the sea. Yeah, that's where I grew up. What I liked about the book and the description of being a teenager in this small West Coast place was that I think you have it's what you say, it's very well described how you feel as a teenager, that you are stuck in this place with your parents and you feel like you're a grown-up and you're ready to do anything, but you still like those few years before you actually finish high school and can go somewhere else and do things. Like in Norway, 18 is the age for being legal, and that's when you can decide for yourself what you want to do. And I think those years you're kind of in a limbo situation that I think this landscape is very good at describing. I think you have this feeling anywhere you live when you're a teenager. The book has like 3 different stories, and I think this story about Alma was the one that really got attention for the book and made like a big stir, as you say. I think it's because it's like a young girl's sexuality or women's sexuality is not something that's very often talked about in public. It's sort of it's a bit taboo and yeah, just something that's not really ever shown in film or at least seldom, so it's rare. So I think that's why, and she does it in a way that that I also hope the film does, that is sort of honest and very like subjective, which I think very many people appreciated. Yeah.
Making documentaries, how did it prepare you for directing a feature film?
Yeah, well actually when I went to film school I mainly studied fiction and narrative filmmaking, so but I think what I like or what I enjoy about filmmaking is like using the visual language, or what you have your audio-visual tools to tell a story. So I did a lot of different things in my documentaries. Like I've always been very interested in what do you say, style. Like the style, how you can use different
visual styles.
Yeah. So and I've used stills before, and I've used voiceover. And I also had like the last documentary I made was very observational, and also I worked with this director of photography, Marianne Bakke, who did Turn Me On, Goddammit. I worked with her before on documentary, so I think like what I felt very safe about was like visual style and that part of it. And like the last one I made was about 2 friends they were 33, and we just followed their friendship for a year. They have known each other since they were 14, and they still have contact, but now they have like different responsibilities. And then when you were in school and you saw each other all the time, so I've done also one. I think they're all like this last one wasn't very political, but there has been some politics involved in some of the projects, but not as propaganda or what you call it. They have been sort of. I like to try and be subtle about things.
Right.
I thought the casting was quite a challenge. First, like our casting director went through like this area and had open auditions at all the junior high schools and high schools, and then like we had several rounds where we tried different things. We did a lot of improvisations and to try and see what kind of emotions they could spark in each other, and to try like different like how people work together, like how they could communicate, and also we tried some of the scenes from the film.
Oh yeah.
Like when they're drinking beer, like to try to find this friend group. And also like when she says that he came and poked her with the dick, we did that. And also her going to...
Well, I would call that one of the sensitive scenes.
Yeah, yeah, and also the one where she goes to Arthur's house to talk to him about what happened. And,
To confront him.
Yeah, to confront him. And also, what was the last? And also we did some of the more heavy scenes with the mother. Like when we were casting for the mother, we tried them together, which was quite demanding and very interesting.
Right, right.
Yeah, I think it's like the writer herself says that she can still recognize her book, but she thinks that I have made it my own, which I think is nice. Like in the book, it's sort of like it starts with her the party and sort of the poking, and and then it ends when she goes to confront him. So I tried to make a setup and sort of an ending. And also there's a lot of other things. I developed the character of Sarah a bit more as the sister. Yeah, because in the book she's called the radical daughter of Sebjørn, and so we had to make her kind of against. She was supposed to be against everyone and everything, and but then still she is sort of vulnerable, and she needed to have this place where she could let out all her inner thoughts. So I thought it was a good idea that she was writing these letters to these men on death row in Texas, and that was something that she really thought was important to work on. And that is actually something that I remember doing as a teenager. That I did this. I was a member of Amnesty International, and I wrote these letters, and I think it's something that is so far away, but on the other hand, it's reality. So it's a bit. I remember I got the letter, and that when I got the letter back, I was a bit like, I don't think I answered, and I always felt bad about that. But it's something that's very brave of young people to do, but it's still a very difficult thing to do. So I could relate to the fact that she doesn't really send these letters.
So the opening scene with.
I think phone sex definitely exists in Norway. I don't know who calls it, but our film is the way we try to make it is that it's not really. It doesn't have to be 2010 or 2011. It could be like 10 years ago. It's a bit, and also like in a small town, maybe they're a bit behind, like the development of like fashion or other things, so that. It was supposed to be a bit timeless.
Yes,
yeah.
Right. So, did you have any trepidation about approaching such a delicate, sexual subject?
What is trepidation? I don't know. I'm not sure if I understand.
Oh, anxiety or fear?
No. I didn't really have any fear about doing this. I think it is nice that it can be shown publicly that young women have a sexuality without making it a very big deal. I don't think it should be something that we're not able to talk about.
So, no, sexuality, but then. Oh, okay, time up? All right. Okay.
I don't know, I guess this, I wasn't expecting this to be taken like, so far we only know how this film has been received here in New York, and I'm very excited to see how the response will be in Norway when we have our premiere in August.